All right. Looks like we're live. Wow. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing tonight? Waiting for a few folks to come on in. This is purely an experimental thing. Man, this is so cool. But yeah, here I am. I'm live. I'm here for Q&As. We'll be talking a lot tonight. And I'm getting texts late. There's going to be some late comments coming in, I'm sure. But yeah, welcome everybody. This is going to be a fun time. Usually this is around the time where I'd be recording a podcast for the pay-per-view that just aired on the WWE Network. And I did have a podcast planned for Payback tonight. What's up, Kevin? How you doing? Watch this. This is a really cool little mechanism. What's up, Kevin? Love you, buddy. Well, what's up? Not much, man. I'm just chilling out, riding out this fun little thing called a pandemic. It's really, really fun. But yeah, usually I would be recording a podcast for the whatchamacallit, the pay-per-view. And I'll be talking a little bit about the pay-per-view tonight on the podcast, but I'll also be answering your questions as we go along. But I did have a podcast planned. I did have 2 special guests lined up. But sadly, neither one of them could make it tonight. No harm, no foul. It's all good. Hey, what's going on, guys? Lauren, awesome. Cisco, what's up, guys? Look at this. This is so cool. Let's go. I agree, Kevin. I agree. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. We're just going to kind of shoot the breeze for a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about the pay-per-view that came on tonight. Pretty eventful show. Only had a week's worth of build. It was kind of stupid of them to do it that way, but I mean, that's what they did. You know, after a great show last week with SummerSlam, I mean, it was a much better show than I was expecting tonight for sure. But as far as my podcast guests go, they should be on for a Clash of the Champions review. And they WWE gave us 2 different dates for that. So, in any regard, if you guys are here, feel free to leave any questions. I'm just going to start shooting the breeze about this pay-per-view. I'll try to be as brief as I can about it because I did not take very many notes about it. But basically, it was a fine show. I mean, there was some good wrestling on it. The opener was the U.S. title match, Apollo Crews versus Bobby Lashley. And it was a fine little match. You know, Bobby Lashley, he puts the full Nelson on Apollo Crews and he beats him. New champion, simple as that. What was after that? It was Big E versus Sheamus. What was after that? Sheamus is a submission specialist now, apparently. And, Big E is on a singles run. He doesn't have his teammates along with him. But it was a fine little match. Big E wins. It's I did really, this is actually something that I want to talk about real quick because during that Apollo Crews Bobby Lashley match, man, Apollo Crews was doing a lot of tributes, Wakanda Forever, because of course, I'm sure everybody here has heard the news of Chadwick Boseman. And man, oh man, that is just... Sorry. That was a really, really tough pill for me to swallow. I remember I was actually at the drive-in. I was watching New Mutants. I was waiting for the previews to come up when I got the news. Good God Almighty, guys. That was a tough one, and I had no clue. Did any of you guys? Yeah. Did any of you guys know that Chadwick Boseman was going through what he was going through? Because I sure didn't. Feel free to voice off in the chat. But Cisco says this is all going over my head. yeah, it's professional wrestling, so it's kind of a lost art right now. But I mean, it was a good show tonight. I mean, I mean, there was definitely a lot of tributes to Chadwick Boseman throughout the show, which I really, really appreciated. Man, they were doing the Wakanda Forever like the whole way through. Like, man, I mean, I will certainly. Chadwick Boseman is just a talent that can never. His work ethic and his talent is just irreplaceable, in my opinion. Like, all the roles that he's given, T'Challa, not even that, but James Brown, Jackie Robinson, just changed. Man, I'm just having trouble even finding the words a couple days later. It still doesn't feel real to me. But guys, if you want to list off your favorite Chadwick Boseman roles in the chat, feel free to do so. But rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. You will never be forgotten. Your legacy will live on forever. Your humility is unmatched, and you're an inspiration to all of us. But yeah, definitely a lot of homages to him on the show. I rewatched Black Panther last night, and it was a surreal experience, man. If I sound like a broken record at any point during this little live feed, don't be surprised. It's kind of this is the first time I'm doing this, and this is actually being brought to us by StreamYard, which is a really, really cool little new feature for streaming live that I just I didn't actually discover it. It was another YouTuber that kind of pointed me in this direction, and this is a really, really neat little tool for sure. And that's how I can StreamYard is how I can show your guys' comments on the stream like this, just kind of. But yeah, but thank you to my buddy Leo for showing me this. It's really, really neat. But this was, yeah. So the pay-per-view itself, again, for the for the week that they had of build, it was fine. Lauren, you're gonna like this. King Corbin wrestled on the show, your favorite Hufflepuff. He faced Matt Riddle, who is a former UFC fighter for a little bit. Matt Riddle beats him, and they call it an upset that he beat King Corbin. And I didn't buy that for a second. The match wasn't great. They built it up as King Corbin was insulting Matt Riddle's family. And Matt Riddle is a UFC fighter, right? And this is going to be kind of a ridiculous little, this is going to be kind of a ridiculous comparison. But if I were a UFC fighter and somebody made a comment about my significant other, if I were a UFC fighter, I would go in and beat the crap out of them and knock them out in 10 seconds. But that's not what happened. The match went 10 minutes. King Corbin was beating up on Matt Riddle for a while, and Matt Riddle wins. It was weird. I can see why some people don't tend to watch pro wrestling. Yo, what's up in here? Payback review from the pay-per-view tonight, and I'm taking viewers' questions at this point. I'm Zach, by the way. I'm a smaller YouTuber. I mostly focus on movie reviews, professional wrestling. I do some podcasts as well. I am also kind of amateur, I guess. I'm a stage actor. I've been delving into film also. And we're just kind of shooting the breeze right now. I'm just answering viewers' questions. I'm talking about the Payback pay-per-view that was on tonight that crowned a brand new Universal Champion in the newly minted heel Roman Reigns, who did not show up until the end of the match. I'm just going to jump right to that. That match was so dumb because they did the ring implosion spot with the Fiend and Braun Strowman, and they made them look so stupid because they advertised this as a triple threat match with Roman Reigns, and he doesn't show up until later on. It's the bookers made them look so stupid. I get where they're going because a lot of people were like, "Oh, Roman Reigns is not a heel," but if they didn't think he was a heel before, he definitely is now with Paul Heyman. So, yeah. So Roman Reigns basically comes in, he wins the Universal title. Whoop-de-doo. Keith Lee defeated Randy Orton clean in the middle of the ring, and I jumped out of my seat seeing that. But it's Keith Lee hit the spirit bomb on Randy Orton, and that was actually a very good match. Rey Mysterio and his son Dominik also did a tag team match against Seth Rollins and Murphy. That was the best match on the entire show. Dominik's been wrestling for a very short period of time, and he looks really good. Rey Mysterio is in the best shape of his life as well. So I really want them to be tag team champions, but kind of an abridged version of the Payback review, because I didn't really take very many notes, and I knew I was going live with you guys, and I was going to be answering your questions. But in any case, I mean, it was a good show given what they given their limitations. I would give the show probably a 7 out of 10. It was entertaining, I guess. They're in the Thunderdome now, which is really cool. Got another comment here. Yo, Zach, I don't watch WWE, but I will never forgive The Rock for what he did to Mick Foley. Well, yeah, Kevin, I definitely agree with you there. So basically, what the incident he's referring to has to be the time when he hit Mick Foley over the head with the chair at least 10 different times. It was during an I Quit match for the title, and I guess Mick Foley was handcuffed, and The Rock just was bashing his head over and over again. Would never be allowed in professional wrestling these days. Never forgive The Rock for what he did to Mick Foley. Yeah, never forgive him for the CTE that he was given, for sure. But yeah, great point. Absolutely. Hashtag never forgive. But The Rock is still my idol, my friend. It's oh man, yeah, good times. But yeah, as far as anything else on the channel goes, I do have a couple other podcasts coming up. It's going to be a pretty fun little stretch of time here. The incident. Yes, the incident. Kevin, that's the word I'm using. But in any case, it's the incident where The Rock just killed Mick Foley almost. Down with The Rock? No. What are you talking about? Down with The Rock. Get out of here. Down with The Rock. No. Man, what movies does The Rock have coming up? I know he has the Jungle Cruise movie coming out for sure. But I know a lot of you in the chat are going to be groaning like crazy. Because, you had the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and you had the Haunted Mansion, and the Jungle Cruise. Everybody was just like, when is Disney gonna stop with these rides? These movies based off of rides. But I mean, you got to remember the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie was really, really awesome. Haunted Mansion, not so much. Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy. I mean, anything The Rock is in, I will definitely go to the theater to see. If it's a stupid Fast and Furious movie, I'll definitely check that out for sure. Boycott Jungle Cruise? No, Kevin. No. Every single movie deserves a chance. Every single movie deserves a chance. This is going to be a weird example, but I really, as a kid, wanted to boycott Kung Fu Panda. This is going to sound really, really strange. I really was not into that, but I don't know what came over me, but I guess it was on HBO one night, and I just decided to give it a shot. And lo and behold, Kung Fu Panda is an excellent animated movie. It is I mean, point being, don't judge a book by its cover. It's just kind of one of those things. But boycott Jungle Cruise, I will absolutely not do that, Kevin. You know that. The Rock is my idol. I will go and support him in every single thing he does. But hey, it's not for everybody. Jungle Cruise is such a dumb premise for a movie to me, is what Francisco says. And you know what? I kind of definitely Jungle Cruise is definitely it's not my first choice for a movie premise. That's for damn sure. like I've watched a couple of trailers and The Rock plays the skipper and he makes a couple of like, if any of you guys have been to Disneyland recently, if any of you guys are big Jungle Cruise fans, like you'll recognize a lot of the jokes that The Rock makes in the trailer. He's like, it's the backside of water when they go behind a waterfall. And like, I kind of chuckled at that in all honesty. I mean, it's dumb, but it's stupid, dumb fun, like I'm willing to give it a chance. Kevin says he'll never give The Rock a chance because he didn't give Mick Foley a chance. Hey, I hear they're good friends in real life, though. He also says Kung Fu Panda goes hard, best DreamWorks movie. Oh, best DreamWorks movie, huh? Well, I'll give you this. It is definitely one of the better ones for sure. The best one, though, I don't know about that one. When Shrek 2 exists, like, I get that the first Shrek movie is there, but like Shrek 2, in my opinion, is so much better. Boycott. Francisco is reacting to my boycott Kung Fu Panda. I was a dumb kid. What can I say? Kevin will definitely attest to the fact that I was a dumb kid. And he gave me a lot of crap as a dumb kid. But, boycott Kung Fu Panda. I guess I was just so, like... I've definitely changed a lot. I feel like I've matured a lot since those boycott Kung Fu Panda days. But, it's... I can't really explain that. But Kung Fu Panda is definitely, as a trilogy overall, it's definitely very strong. Personally, I think Kung Fu Panda 2 is actually better than the first one. They actually improved on it. And then they just put Bryan Cranston in Kung Fu Panda 3 as Poe's dad. And I'm just like, I am all for that. It's funny because I was kind of dreading seeing Kung Fu Panda 3 in trailers because that was around the point where I started working at the movie theater. And they brought in like so it's funny because like in that facility they have this weird thing called a trailer vision, and they would play like weird, like not weird, but like they would just play like all these movie trailers on repeat. And I hate to say it, but the Kung Fu Panda 3 trailer was on loop all day when I was at work, and like it made me sick of AC/DC. Of all things, because like that AC/DC song Back in Black in the trailer, it would play on loop. And I was just like, this is the song that my Pop Warner team ran out to. Like, this is the song that I have to auto tune out now. Like, am I really finding this annoying? Like, I don't know, man. But this was, Kung Fu Panda 3 I thought was pretty good. Kevin says How to Train Your Dragon is actually the best DreamWorks movie in your opinion. Well, you know what? I will not argue that opinion. I'm actually in the works to bring on a surprise guest for a DreamWorks ranking. You guys might remember I did a Disney ranking with Lauren, who is in the chat earlier. Some of you might have seen. But I'm definitely planning a DreamWorks ranking. I feel like How to Train Your Dragon, at least one of them will be on my list. I'm not entirely sure yet. I haven't seen a lot of those DreamWorks movies in a while, but one thing I will say is like DreamWorks comes out with really weird stuff. One thing I really admire about them is that they are not afraid to think outside the box. Like you think about Kung Fu Panda, you think about How to Train Your Dragon, you think about the B movie. The B movie, okay, let me just clear the air real quick. I don't think the B movie is a bad film. It is a terrible idea, for sure. But, like, somehow it's so weird that it's kind of watchable, and it's so, like, meme-worthy. Like, this was, Kung Fu Panda, like, How to Train Your Dragon, this is definitely, How to Train Your Dragon, the thing I really like about that is the whole, like, Viking vibe I get from it. Those are just really fun movies. Personally, How to Train Your Dragon 2 is my favorite of the trilogy. The first one is slightly underneath that. I saw The Hidden World in theaters, and, like, I was watching it and like, this is fine. I mean, this is a suitable conclusion to the trilogy. It wasn't a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean, it's definitely one of their strongest trilogies for sure. Kevin also says Zack is a stud now and was always a stud. Aw, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Man. Ewan says, don't listen to Kevin. Shrek is high key more fire. You know, I definitely have I definitely have a lot of nostalgic memories with Shrek. It was, man, I got to perform in Shrek the Musical as Farquaad, which is still one of the best experiences of my life as, you know, as a performer for sure. I did the whole show on my knees. I'm still in the best shape of my life because of that show. COVID weight be damned. But I mean, in any regard, like, yeah, Shrek, I mean, that's classic. You know, that's Shrek 1 is definitely a very fun movie, and I definitely still enjoy it. Maybe I have the most like nostalgic memories from that. But Shrek 2, honestly, in hindsight, I think Shrek 2 is better. It's funnier. The comedy is much faster paced. I mean, you have more like depth with the storyline other than just being like, you know, another Beauty and the Beast story, which is great in the first one. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like adding more layers to it with the parents being completely against Shrek himself. Like, you know, and I don't know. Shrek is awesome for sure. I agree with you, Ewan. Definitely 100%. By the way, if any of you guys are new here, thank you all so much for stopping by. This has been a ton of fun so far. I've been recording for about 20 minutes. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below as hard as you possibly can. It would mean the world to me. How is it not automatically on your list? I'm sorry, I'm catching up on the chat here. Francisco, I'm assuming you're talking about like, man, yeah, we were talking about DreamWorks movies. The B movie, I don't think the B movie is going to be on my list. I mean, heck, who knows? I haven't done a list for it yet. It might be. But Kevin says wrong and he spells it incorrectly. Francisco says Shrek is number 1, hands down. I agree, buddy. I agree 100%. Kevin says, Zach, what's your favorite Disneyland ride? Ooh. God, you're making me think. Do you just mean, does it have to be just Disneyland or is California Adventure included in that? Because if so, I mean, there's like a lot of rides. I haven't been to Disneyland in 5 years, which is just insane to think about. But yeah, no. So I have not ridden Mission Breakout yet. I have not ridden the Incredicoaster yet. I mean, Incredicoaster is just essentially California Screamin', but with a different theme on it. But in terms of my favorite Disneyland ride, like, man, that's tough because like sometimes I'll be in the mood for like just plain old Pirates of the Caribbean if I want something a little bit more soothing. Pirates of the Caribbean is a 15-minute long ride, guys. Like, it takes you through a ton, and it's a instant classic. I love that one personally. A lot of people love the Haunted Mansion. I personally love Pirates of the Caribbean even more. If I'm being completely honest, Haunted Mansion is great, but Pirates of the Caribbean is really good. My favorite ride in the whole park, though, man, that's a tough question. I mean, if I really had to think about it, it'd probably be Indiana Jones. And it's funny because I was, as a kid, as a really, really young guy, I was terrified to go on that ride. Mainly because this is an honest to God true story. I thought the boulder in Indiana Jones ride, I thought that was a real boulder. And I thought that there was like no way to survive that ride. It was like, I thought weird things as a kid. But that was, so Yeah, so the first time I rode Indiana Jones, like I got off that ride and I was like relieved that the boulder did not crush me. Um, but I just could not get over how fun it was. Like just it had everything. A close second is Space Mountain. That was a good question, Kevin. I really had to think about that one. Indiana Jones, number one for me. Space Mountain is number two, and he agrees Indiana Jones is his favorite as well, for sure. Francisco's got a peace out. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hey, and guys in the chat, feel free to share this with your friends. Feel free to share with them that Zach Goller is live, and he's answering any questions that you guys may have in the chat. This has been a ton of fun so far. What's up, dude? Indiana Jones is one of the best. It really is. Yeah, you know what? The ride is awesome. I mean, it's got to be awesome to build off of an amazing trilogy of movies. It's honestly one of the best trilogies, I think, ever. And you realize I say trilogies because I am not counting Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, because that movie was trash. It was... Oh, man. I remember seeing Kingdom of the Crystal Skull in theaters when I was younger, and I remember being just completely dejected and turned off from Indiana Jones at that point. I was like, oh, my gosh. Yeah. It was... yeah. Yeah, but to answer your question, Austin, yeah. Indiana Jones, definitely one of the best, for sure. Yeah, but how are you guys doing? How are you guys holding up with this whole pandemic thing? This has been it's been a rough go. I actually counted. We are currently 167 days into the shelter in place. It's not to... I know I wasn't going to like talk a whole ton about the pandemic on my channel, really, like much, if not at all. But yeah, but in any case, yeah, but so going back to Indiana Jones, because that's a fun topic. Indiana Jones, my favorite is probably Raiders of the Lost Ark, if I really had to think about it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is The Last Crusade the one with Sean Connery? So yeah. Yeah, Sean Connery, I'm pretty sure, was in Last Crusade. Temple of Doom is the one with Data from the Goonies. What's your favorite F to budget weapon? I couldn't answer that, honestly. It was... I mean, I'm not really like into weapons really like much at all, to be perfectly honest. But Kevin says COVID blows. Indeed, it does. And long story short, it was definitely preventable. But in any case, Austin says Home Depot is still open. Is it really? I have not been to Home Depot in a while. We're actually building a... I mean, it has to be open because we're actually almost finished building a deck out in my backyard. It was our big summer project. But yeah, Austin says, please come to Home Depot. I will try and make an effort to stop by. But yeah, Kevin says Last Crusade is his favorite, and it's the one with Sean Connery. Okay, yeah, so that must mean that was Sean Connery was playing Indiana Jones's father. I'm pretty sure, if my memory serves me right. But Raiders of the Lost Ark is definitely my favorite. That was one that was nominated for Best Picture, actually. It's a fun little factoid right there. Man, yeah, that was a good one. I really enjoyed that. But do you guys have any other like thoughts or questions for me or anything? I've been recording for about a half an hour at this point. This has been a lot of fun discussing things with you guys. What is your favorite type of wood? Maybe you can get it at Home Depot. Well, at my workplace, my favorite type of wood... So a lot of people don't exactly know this, but I actually do work at the Winchester Mystery House. And that is my day job. I go in and out, and it's cool. Sarah used a lot of different types of wood on the house. Really cool. But yeah, guys, it looks like, so I've been recording for about half an hour. This has been a really fun little broadcast right here. It looks like I'm going to have to cut it short at this point, though. I am being summoned down for dinner at this point. Kevin says maple is his favorite type of wood. Maple is great. In terms of building, though, I prefer redwood for sure. I'm not a construction person by any stretch of the imagination. But no, there's definitely lots of different types of wood. But at this point, folks, it looks like I'm going to have to cut this live feed short. I've had a ton of fun with you guys. I'm being summoned down for dinner, but thank you all so much for joining me today. If you guys are, in fact, new here, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button as hard as you possibly can before you go. Please make sure to leave a thumbs up on this little broadcast if you enjoyed it. This is really cool, though. I really like this little. I really like this little machine here. Once again, thank you so much to my buddy Leo. My buddy Leo, who referred me to StreamYard. Absolutely wonderful service. So shout out to my buddy. Yeah, go subscribe to him at Geekly Goods. Kevin says, what's for dinner? I'm going to have to find out. They won't tell me. But in any regard, thank you all so much for stopping by once again. Look forward to more fun broadcasts like this very soon. I've had a ton of fun. With all that being said, Back Talk commence, and peace out. Love you guys.